Okay, we're starting this over again, folks. Sorry about the mess up there. Okay, there we
Okay,
go.
we're starting this over
Okay, I gotta
again,
turn this
folks.
down here. Okay, there. I had one of the tabs open here to make sure that I was running correctly there. What it was earlier is that I did an update on my computer earlier this morning here, and I realized, when you every time before you do a live stream or record anything, you have to make sure that the desktop audio is up and running because it wasn't doing that on my microphone and the two levels there of audio coming in. So that's probably what it was. So that little couple of seconds that we had early on will just definitely be deleted for sure, man. All right, so and we're here, of course, with Arknolia, Stroke of Bean. This is episode 38 of our music memory series, and we're going to be taking a look at the country rock and southern rock scene of the 1970s here, where our journey through that decade is still running amok for the next couple of weeks there.
Yeah, and we'll dabble a little bit in country, but there's not much I can contribute because most of the country artists I'm familiar with in the 70s were also around in the 60s, and we
That's
talked
true.
about them.
Yeah, we did like I remember Johnny Paycheck, Johnny Cash, we also had, Lynn
Buck
Anderson,
Owens.
Buck Owens, Roy Clark, who was one of the original guitar shredders in this time, man. If you ever saw any YouTube videos of him playing the shit out of that acoustic guitar he had or electric guitar, man, you will be fucking amazed. I guarantee that for sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah,
We also had artists like Loretta,
Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn here, the subject of the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, played by Sissy Spacek. We also had other artists like I mentioned Johnny Paycheck, whose song "Take This Job and Shove It" became a national hit and a national catchphrase around that decade there.
And Johnny Paycheck, I believe, was because his real name was Johnny Cash, so he went with Johnny Paycheck, I
Oh,
believe.
really? That's interesting. Oh, that's really interesting there. It's kind of the same
Now, I
thing
could
with
be wrong about that.
who knows, but it's kind of the same thing with the David Jones changes his name to David Bowie because of Davy Jones the Monkees.
Right.
So shall we begin, my man?
Okay, we were talking about country. The only artist I made a list for from country,
Hmm.
pure country,
Yep.
was Kenny Rogers.
Oh yeah, one of the great ones, man. The great
Yeah,
ones. We lost. I guess he was 82 when he passed away about a year and a half ago.
yeah, I think that's correct. But
Yeah, it was.
it's kind of funny. I always kind of enjoyed Kenny Rogers all the way from his psychedelic era,
Yeah, with the first edition.
up till his later stuff. I
Yep.
mean, it's mostly ballads and stuff, but they were
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, but then, and of course, the guy, you got to give him almost, so as a country artist, you got to give him a lot of credit for having a lot of diverse individuals help out with his music there. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he did an album called Eyes That See in the Dark around the early '80s that was produced by Barry Gibb, the Bee Gees. Oh, where he did a cover of Bob Seger's "We Got Tonight," featuring
Yeah.
Sheena Easton, who was Scottish. And of course, we cannot forget Lionel Richie and the Commodores back writing "Lady," his one of his biggest solo hits.
Which was my number 10.
Yeah,
Lady's a good song.
he's also an actor too. He
Yep.
starred in movies like the Gambler, based on the album of the same name and the song, which is a great song by the way. Just
Oh, real.
the lyrical content of that song, and what the vibe you get from reading the lyrics there, kind of like can't help but can't help but be amazed by this whole thing that he conjured up there, but in terms of the lyrics of that pertaining to that song there.
Well, he was basically a master of a lot of lyrics
Yeah,
because
yeah.
a lot of his songs lyrically were like, wow.
Yeah, interesting. He also had a, he also, as I mentioned, was of course a good actor. He did a TV movie based on one of his songs, "Coward of the County."
Yeah.
Six Pack, which they had this one of his theme songs was a track called, I guess, "Love Will Turn You Around." I guess it was. He was one of the he was a master. He was a legend in his own era, man, no doubt. And no doubt
Yeah.
he is sorely missed by all the fans out there who loved him and cherished him.
Yeah. Well, like I mentioned earlier, my number 10 was Lady,
Yep,
which is a great song.
that's right.
My number 9 is She Believes in Me.
Another ballad there. I remember hearing the first time. That was the first song I heard from him back in '78, and that too was from the Gambler album.
Yeah. Number 8 is Through the Years.
Hmm.
And number 7 is Tell It All, Brother, which is, I think, from his first edition.
Wow.
Number 6 is Reuben James,
Oh
which
yeah.
was another one from,
The first edition.
yeah, good little tune. Number 5 is Lucille, which is You Picked a Fine Time to Leave Me,
Oh
Lucille.
yeah, and the story behind that is really, really thought provoking. If you haven't heard the lyrics to that track, listen deeply to
Well,
the lyrics
actually,
of
you
that
can
song.
make that statement with a lot of his songs.
Yes, definitely.
My number 4 was The Gambler,
Oh
which
yeah.
we discussed, and
Yep.
that's another one that's lyrically fine. Number 3, I guess, Coward of the County, which when you mentioned it, I was thinking, oh, there's another one that lyrics are strong.
Yeah, it's about and it kind of like shows how much when you try to put the little rules and things into a child's mind, they're going to grow up and believe those rules that you put in as. They're going to grow up believing that for the rest of their lives. Like if you tell your child, your son or daughter, that oh, you're just a worthless piece of crock, they're going to go on believing that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And my number 2 is Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town.
Oh
There's
yeah.
another strong story.
Oh yeah, definitely a strong story behind that. I understand. Wasn't that made into a TV movie, I believe, or feature film, if I'm correct?
Uh, it wouldn't surprise me because it's, like I say, lyrically, it's a very strong song.
Oh wow, definitely. I should probably look it up because I was only wondering about that subject. Don't take your love to town. Let's see here. This. Oh, let me look up here. Blah blah blah. Literally look up the story behind that song. Okay. It's a song written by Mel Tillis,
Wow.
and it was about a paralyzed veteran who lies helplessly as his wife paints herself up to go to the town without him. He believes he's going to search. She is going to search for another lover. As he hears the door slam behind her, he claims that he would murder her if he could, moving to get his gun, and pleads for her to reconsider. A line in that song about a crazy Asian war, and of course, the time of the song's release led the assumption that the song was about a veteran from the Vietnam War. Thought
Right.
this was never stated in the lyrics, although Tillis stated that the song was about a veteran of World War II. It was first recorded by Waylon Jennings in 1966. Johnny Darrow reached number 9 on the country charts with his version at 67, and Kenny Rogers and the first edition did their version in 1969. Interesting there.
Yeah, and that Kenny Rogers version is probably the strongest of the bunch.
Absolutely there.
And my number 1 is, you mentioned it, We've Got Tonight. Oh,
That's right.
sorry.
Yep, with Sheena Easton there.
Right.
Yeah. They hit on another. You remember Kim Carnes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to her? And I bring it up because she had a good, successful solo career for a while with I guess what was it, Real Love or something like that from 1980. There, she also had a big hit with Betty Davis' Eyes, Voyeur,
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff there. And remember, she did a duet with Kenny Rogers called, I think, what was it? Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be
Grow up to be
Cowboys?
cowboys.
Yeah.
I think she was involved in that.
Yes, I believe so, yeah. I should probably look her up, just for the fuck of it, because the last time we heard from her is back in when that Voyeur album came out. It was kind of like a disturbing video when you think about it. There, it's about a Kim. What am I talking about? Okay, here we go. There, you know, uh, and I guess she's still around. I understand here. She's 75 years old. She's from born and raised in California. She began as a songwriter in the 1960s, working for other artists, performing in local clubs. She let's see here, blah. Of course, that song, she did "Crazy in the Night," "More Love." That's the name of the track there. "Barking in Airplanes," "Cafe Racers." That's from 1983. And she's still around, thank goodness. There, she hasn't departed from us, thank goodness.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and of course, remember, as we mentioned, that song she did with Kenny Rogers, "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys."
Yeah. Let's see. She did. I think she did "Mistaken Identity" too, which is a pretty big song.
Yeah, that was, I believe so. Yeah, there was also a name of the album which Betty Davis Eyes, appeared on, and that was back in
Right.
1981. And it kind of like helps. And if you remember the video for that song, the video for that track, kind of like helped pave a way for the new romantic style, along with the Duran Duran video, Planet Earth, the
Right.
early Spandau Ballet before it became true. Many of the band groups at that time were from the UK were basically going off on that style there. It was kind of like a glam with a touch of fashionaire, such and such, And of course, it was inspired by David Bowie with his "Boys Keep Swinging," kind of video there, from what I understand, if I'm
Yeah.
correct. Okay.
Well, another one guy that I thought we'd talk about, and I think we did, but I'm not sure, is Glenn Campbell,
Oh
which
yeah,
I'm not sure he's country or not, but I
he had a
think I'd put him
he
with
had a
country.
couple he had a couple of country hits. I remember the 45 Southern Nights, which my sister had used to play a lot back in the day there, a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also can't forget his romance. I think what was it? Tanya Tucker, I guess they were an item for a good number of years. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm I think they
Yeah.
even
They
did
were.
that album together. I guess and he sadly passed away. Unfortunately, I guess he had dementia.
Yeah.
For
He had a
this,
dementia and Alzheimer's.
yeah,
I think a combo of the two.
yeah, and who cannot forget that famous mug shot of him from how I forgot what year it was, but his hair was all messed up there. He had this evil look on his face there. I don't know, was he intoxicated or whatever it was?
I think so, but
Yeah, you look up Glenn Campbell mug shop and you see what I'm talking about there.
and he also was in True Grit.
Yep, the movie.
Yep.
Okay, then.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he passed away in the August of 2017. He was also an actor and television host. He he hosted the
I
Glenn
actually
Campbell.
watched his show.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched that show. It
Yeah,
was not bad.
the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour. It was from '69 to 1972. There. Yeah,
Not a bad show. He wasn't anything hokey about it at all.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, from what I heard about it, was a lot of good stuff up there. His last album was in 2017, just as well, prior to his death. Um, Before his death, I should say. It's called Adios, was the name of the album there.
Yeah, and it's funny because he toured with dementia with his kids, and his kids helped him a
I know.
lot.
Yeah.
And he never forgot the lyrics or anything of that nature to his songs. He remembered everything when it
Wow.
came time to
Interesting.
do that, but he had trouble with everyday stuff.
Wow, man, that's a trip. You
Yeah,
know,
I saw
that's
the
that's
special on that.
that's
It was
that's the power of
incredible.
music right there. You could probably if you let's say somebody I knew back in Michigan, his name was Dave. He had an auto accident years before when he was a teenager, and there were times he often would forget things or he would lose focus on something, and his girlfriend would have to snap him back into it. But when it came to playing guitar, he would remember everything like the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
there.
was going to
Yep.
say I have a top 10 list, but
Okay.
number 10's blank, so I don't know
Like
what that
okay,
was.
so probably be a top nine list, I guess you could say there.
Yeah. Okay, number 9, I got Rhinestone Cowboy.
Yes, from the movie at the same title there.
Yeah. Number 8 is Dreams of the Everyday Housewife.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Number 7's Try a Little Kindness.
I see there.
Number 6 is Southern Nights.
Yep. The one I mentioned earlier.
Number 5 I got is Gentle on My Mind.
Yeah, that was one of his big hits there.
Yeah. Number 4, By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
Yep. Wasn't that a cover of somebody else that doing that, or was that his original there?
I don't know,
Neither do I.
but I do know other people did the song.
Oh yeah, no surprise there.
Number 3, I got Galveston.
Uh, Let me guess, probably named after Galveston, Texas, I presume.
Yeah.
Nice. Good place of vacation there, by the way. I do recommend.
Yeah. And number 2, I got Wichita Lineman.
Hmm.
Great song.
All right.
And my number 1 is his cover of It's Only Make Believe, which is an original Conway Twitty song. But
Oh.
he did a great job on that song.
Oh wow.
He did some octave stuff that when you listen to it, it's like, whoa,
That's true there.
that's pretty good.
Wow.
He was covering octaves that a lot of us only dream we can reach.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, another talent taken us from the big evil A there, which I call Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Glenn. Hope you're up there in country music heaven there with all the other
Yeah.
great ones like Johnny Cash and a couple others. Johnny Paycheck, I think he's up there as well.
Yeah. Another group that we could mention, I guess their country, is the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yeah, I remember hearing that name a lot of times. The only song I remember they had this song called "Will the Circle Be Unbroken." I only heard the
Which that's a
title.
cover, but yeah.
Yeah,
And they did that version of Mr. Bojangles.
yeah. I remember that's the song I heard from them. That I remember that, and I guess that was named after one of the characters in the one of the early Shirley Temple movies. There, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and that song was covered by several people.
Wow,
Although off the top of my head, I can't tell you any of them are.
probably a lot of them because that song was like a big hit there, if I remember. I remember they decided to shorten their name to just the Dirt Band, I guess around 1980 or 81, and they did a song with Linda Ronstadt on backup vocals called "American Dream," I guess.
Yeah, yeah. They were a talented group, and they put out quite a few things.
Hmm.
But now I want to kind of turn that from country to country rock.
Oh yeah.
And the first group I want to mention and go over is Poco.
Oh yeah. I remember a couple of songs from them. The first one I heard from them was the track "Crazy Love" from '79.
Yeah, and actually that's a later song by the group.
Yeah.
They their one claim to fame is Jim Messina was one of the founding members.
Yes, and this is a guy when the guy would later team up with Kenny Loggins and form Loggins and Messina and do that one song which Poison would later cover in the '80s. Your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll.
Which is, in my eyes, one of their worst songs. But that's me.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of like, well, I got tired of it.
Oh yeah. I
But
take it
we'll
you were
cover
not.
them when we get into, because I don't consider Logging the Messina any kind of country rock or anything of that nature.
It was
They're
more.
more of a classic rock
Well,
band.
for me, it was more adult contemporary when you think about it,
Yeah,
because that's when their music was mostly played on all those kind of stations there.
yeah, yeah. But my top 10 list, and apparently you're not going to have heard of many of these.
Yeah, sure. So I'm in for a surprise.
Okay, number 10 is a song called Good Feeling to Know. Number 9 is Go and Say Goodbye, which is actually a Buffalo Springfield cover,
Ah.
which kind of goes along with things. I think Richie Furay was in this band too.
Um, I also understand Randy Meisner from the Eagles was involved just as well with this band.
Yeah, I think he was actually.
I believe it was he joined them after he departed from the Eagles, or vice versa.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on that one.
Oh.
Number 8 I got is From the Inside. Number 7 is You Better Think Twice.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is Picking Up the Pieces. Number 5 you just mentioned a while ago, Crazy Love.
Yep. Great song from them.
Number 4, Heart of the Night.
Another great song. We have got to throw that in. That's for sure, man.
Number 3 I got a song called Bad Weather, which is a great little tune. Number 2 is Rose of Cimarron, which that song does some interesting things. And my number 1 is kind of different for them. It's almost prog, but it's still got the country elements to it. It's a 9-minute song called Crazy Eyes,
Wow,
which
nice.
it does some interesting stuff in the song. Like I said, it's darn near prog, but it's still got a country tinge to it. And it does some, like I said, it does some stuff
There was, I
that's,
think they, I meant, there was a song I remember from 1988 called "Call It Love," and I
yeah,
remember that was played a lot of times when I got my first official car with the radio in it. I only had an AM radio, and this is around '88. It was this old beat up bleh. It was a blue Impala that I had, and it
mm,
was I remember hearing the song called Love, and this was out of a top 40 station out of Chatham, which is somewhere in Ontario, Canada there.
yeah, actually, a lot of those later songs, Call It Love, Heat of the Night, Heart of the Night, excuse me,
Hmm.
and Love were later songs by them, but actually were some of their biggest,
Yeah.
which was kind of bizarre, but okay,
Yeah,
I don't have any problem with that.
yeah, but then again, you know how it is. You know, sometimes you don't make it big until a few years later after you start your career. Sometimes it could take about a decade or less. You know.
Yeah. And another group that I don't have a list for was Pure Prairie League.
Oh yeah. Which
They,
is what Vince Gill used to be a member of, believe it or not.
yeah, but he was in the later years.
Yeah. And
And
now he's involved with another band, well-known band, the Eagles. Him and Deacon Fry, Glenn's son, are now filling in for Glenn Fry's shoes right now.
wow. Huh. Yeah, and they had their big song was a song called Amy,
Mm.
which I'm surprised you haven't heard.
I don't think I have, you know, but I think I heard mention about it. You know, one thing you know, got to give that group credit for was their mascot on all their album covers. They had this cowboy, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like look like a cart, somewhat out of a MGM cartoon. This character that they have on all their album covers there, and I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
okay, and they had this. I'm going to look up that mascot to get more information about it.
And then another group that kind of, I guess they're country rock,
Yeah.
but then they could be considered southern rock,
Yes.
and they could be considered hard rock. That's the Outlaws.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What was that?
Of course, they're huge ones, Greengrass and High Tides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did a great cover of a song
I
called
remember
Ghost
hear. I
Riders in the
remember
Sky.
hearing that song. Believe it or not.
They had quite a few pretty decent songs.
Yeah. Interesting. There. I remember them. Um. That's the only one I know was High Tide and Green Grass. That was about it, I guess. That's all I remember there.
Yeah, it was about 9 minutes. A great
And
guitar song.
by the way, Pure Prairie League, their mascot, he's an old cowpoke named Sad Luke.
Huh.
Yeah, and it was apparently the name comes from an obscure 19th century temperance union mentioned in the 1939 movie Dodge City.
Wow.
Mm.
But yeah, he's on all their album covers.
Yep, all of them there.
But it's worth a listen if you like country rock at
Uh
all.
huh. Yes. Let Me Love You Tonight. That's one of them. That's one song I heard from them. I guess it was in '79, for I remember. Yeah,
They did another one that was pretty decent
1980.
called.
My bad. 1980.
They did another one that's pretty decent called Sun Shone Lightly.
Hmm. All right.
Then we hit another band that are they Southern rock? Are they country rock? I'm going to go with Southern rock on them.
All right.
And that's 38 Special.
Oh yeah. Are they still together? I think they're still together, if I
I
remember.
think so.
Because
I think so.
I think we know them. Was Johnny, Ronnie, and Donnie Van Zandt. And Donnie Van Zandt is a member of this group. I guess he was one of the three brothers of the Van Zandt clan there.
Yeah. And then he basically went over to Leonard Skinner for a while to take Ronnie's place.
No, that was actually Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny had a solo career of his own. He had a band called Van Zandt in around '85. They had this song called "I'm a Fighter," which featured a lot of boxers training like Marvelous Marvin Hagger. Rest in peace to him, I understand. And guess Donnie was a member of 38 for a longest time now. I guess he's still with the group, I understand. But their main
Probably
member,
so.
well, and I guess their main member is Don Barnes, a singer guitarist who wrote one of their biggest songs like "Hold On Loosely," "Back Where You Belong," and other stuff like "So Caught Up in You." Those songs there.
Yeah. My number 10 by that group is a song called Teacher, Teacher, which was
Yes,
actually part of a soundtrack.
yes, I remember. Yes, I remember the song "Teachers" from 1985.
Yeah. Number 9, it gets Back to Paradise, which was
Yep,
another pretty big song by
yep.
them.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8, it's Rocking Through the Night, Rocking Into the Night.
Oh yeah, that's the first song I heard from them.
I think actually it's one of their first hits,
I believe so as well. I guess it came out in 1981. I guess the record was called Wild Eyed Southern Boys there.
which is my number 7 song is Wild Eyed Southern Boys.
Yeah, I remember hearing the live version of that on the old MTV when that first came out there.
Yeah. Number 6 is Chain Lightning,
Hmm.
which is number 5 is Back Where You Belong.
Yep, I remember the video for that as well.
Yeah. Number 4 is Fantasy Girl.
Hmm.
Number 3, If I'd Never Been the One.
I think I remember. I think they still play that a couple times at the grocery store loudspeaker at where I worked there.
Probably so.
I believe so.
Number 2 is Hold On Loosely.
Yeah, one of their big all-time hits there. I remember me and a couple of neighbors were trying to do that song, and
Yeah.
a lot of times on the guitar and he was on the drums. It was just us there. You know,
Yeah, it does some interesting ride stuff at the beginning.
I know. Yeah.
It's kind of similar to what Theme for an Imaginary Western does, but not
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah.
Uh, and my number 1 is Caught Up in You.
Oh yeah. Remember the video for that song?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And there was a sequel to that video, by the way, if you remember. It was called, I guess it was called, and towards the end of the Caught Up in You, the girl approaches the guy. She's got a key to the hotel, and then the videos for the next single, I guess, Keep On Running, shows her, simply walking out of the hotel room because of some sort of a thing that happened within her past, and the guy's like, wondering, what, where'd she go? Blah, 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 and just stuff like that. I guess that video deals with a woman, is she was hoping to do something there, but some sort of a thing came up there at the last minute. I don't know what it was. I had to read up on that one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next one is definitely Southern Rock, and I don't see any country in them at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Allman Brothers.
Oh yeah, Dwayne and Greg Allman, who are now have been reunited a couple
Yeah.
years back with the passing of Greg Allman.
Yeah, and an interesting story about Dwayne Allman and Barry Oakley.
Yeah.
You can look it up to tell me if I'm wrong, right, or whatever.
Okay, let me let me do this here.
But Dwayne Allman died in a motorcycle accident.
Yes, I remember he had.
And almost exactly a year later, maybe it wasn't exactly, but Barry Oakley, the bassist, died in a motorcycle accident.
Wow.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, not far from the spot Dwayne Allman died.
Wow. Wow. Something in it there.
I don't know how true that story is or whether it's just something I heard.
Let's see here. And Barry Oakley, as mentioned, was the bass player for the group.
Right.
Oakley was involved in a motorcycle accident in '72, just 3 blocks where Dwayne Allman had his
That's
fatal.
what I heard. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow. That's very sad there. Very, very sad. You know. And of course, Dwayne Allman was also was a part of that project, Derek and the Dynamos, with Eric Clapton and Jim
Yep.
Gordon.
Yeah.
He was they did a lot of lead guitars on the tracks like the title cut, Bell Bottom Blues, and a couple others. Key to the Highway, their cover of Hendrix's Little Wing.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that if Dwayne Allman hadn't died, there would have been more than that one album by Derek and the Dynamos.
Yeah, that is true there. That is very true.
I don't know how true that is, but that's something I always heard.
Yeah, I know. Very sad. I mean, there. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but there's a clip of Derek and the Dynamos doing some sort of a song on Johnny Cash's program there. I guess around 70, 71, I believe.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I should probably check it out sometime.
Yeah. Number 10 by them that I've got is Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that song.
Uh-huh.
Number 9 is Revival. Number 8 is Blue Sky. Number 7 is One Way Out.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is excuse me.
You okay, dude?
Wasted Words. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Wasted Words.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 is the instrumental Jessica. I really like that one.
There, yeah.
And number 4 is Dreams,
Yeah.
which Molly Hatchet covered,
Yes.
which is another group that's worth
interesting.
mentioning.
Wow, I was gonna say, we got to bring up Molly Hatchet because they had some good stuff there. Flirting with Disaster, which was a badass song there. I remember hearing from 1979, and the guy who did their album covers, Frank Franzetta, was his name, I guess. He did some. He did some badass covers for those guys there.
And the interesting thing about that band is they're kind of Southern rock, but they're almost metal.
Yeah, very harder.
And they're named after a famous murder.
Oh wow!
Look up Molly Hatchet and you'll see what they got their name. And it's I don't remember where the murder is or what happened or what's involved, but they took their name from that.
Okay, there. Mm-hmm.
While you're looking that up, I'll do the last three.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 3, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Midnight Rider,
Yep.
which Greg Allman covered his own song. And my number 1 by that group is a song that I've always loved, especially the live version from Fillmore, Whipping Post.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was a classic. I don't know if you remember hearing the Frank Zappa live version of that song there.
I can just imagine.
Yeah, it was kind of like the original, but the middle section of the track, of their version, basically was a lot more juiced up. They changed the tempo there, where Frank just plays his guitar solo there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You find Molly Hatchet yet?
Yes, I have. And I found it there. I found the group name. I'm looking for the name. Blah blah blah. Son of a name goat there. A lot of stuff. I guess it's one of those bands that now with only down to one original member there.
Wow.
Hmm. The name origin there. Let's see what we got here. They took their name from a prostitute who allegedly mutilated and decapitated her clients. One iconic aspect is that the image is that of many of the band's album covers featured art inspired by heroic fantasy, and several which was done by artists like Frank Franzetta, Boris Yao, or what's Paul Boris Vallejo. At the kind of trouble.
Vallejo.
Maleo, okay. And also this one named Paul R. They should probably include Louis Royal in there because he does a lot of fantasy art featuring hot chicks in there.
Yeah.
You ever
These
saw?
usually feature a guy in armor on a horse
Oh yeah.
carrying a hatchet.
Yep, they did that for the first two albums, the self-titled debut and Flirting with Disaster. And they did this one album called what is it called? They had another one called the Beating the Odds. That was with a different
Yeah.
singer there. And they did this one record which they featured their new singer at that time. I guess the singer Jandy Joe Brown had left the group previously before he came back a couple years later with doing a song called "I'm a Satisfied Man," which was pretty good there. And it
Yeah.
featured the band members all pumped up in this artwork there. But however, they didn't really look like that in real life, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I know, but then again, that's how some of the marketing goes in rock and roll, and how these fantasy artists goes.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
always pumped up and beefed up, and the girls are always looking this sexy and fly in that.
Yeah.
Happens
But
a lot.
real life ain't that way.
I know, yeah.
Oh, another Southern group I want to mention before I forget them.
Yep.
Wet Willie.
Oh, I remember hearing that name a couple times in the past. I guess what's his name there? Who did that song with Jeff Beck in '85? What was his name? Son of a name goat. I forgot his dang name.
But I know that 3 of their biggest songs were Keep on Smiling,
Mm-hmm.
um, Countryside of Life, and then one I really liked was a song called Everything That You Do
Yep.
Will Come Back to You.
Mm-hmm.
Good song.
All right. I see. Okay, let's see
But
who there. Blah 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 blah. Who the person is who sang on that song? Let's see here. And if he, son of a name go. Jimmy Hall, that's his name. Jimmy Hall. He was
Yep,
a singer
yep,
from Wet Willie there, and he sang on that Jeff Beck track, Gets Us All in the End from 1985. Damn good song there.
yeah. Then another band I think they're Southern rock, Black Oak, Arkansas.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my God. Jim Danny to the rescue. I remember hearing
Yeah.
that over the loudspeaker at the Kroger in Richmond, Michigan a couple of times there. I guess
Which
Jim,
actually they had some great songs,
well,
and Jim Dandy doesn't fall in the top, bunch that I would say.
Yeah,
It's one of those songs that's just kind of like gimmick, I suppose.
I guess, and it also fits to say that Jim Dandy would later inspire David Lee Roth of Van Halen to do the stuff he did on stage there, believe it or not.
Oh yeah,
Except play a washboard.
yeah, and actually, one of the best albums that group did was the live one. That
Rock
one,
and roll.
yeah, that one was phenomenal, actually.
Mm.
They did songs like "When Electricity Came to Arkansas."
Yep.
Uh,
That's a song. You know what? There was a spot in that song which I guess it was a sort of a drum fill in there, and I guess what it is that Jim Dandy was some sort of a howling, so sort of a and I guess the Christian fundamentalists were saying he was in some sort of a satanic chat according to them.
oh, well, I'm surprised they didn't say anything about "Hot and Nasty."
Oh yeah,
Think about that one.
that's true.
But that album's a fun listen.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep.
Okay, moving on to the next group I got here is
Okay.
Marshall Tucker Band.
Yep, and the wire shout out to YR in my chat here. He just mentioned it in my chat here. Marshall Tucker Band. I remember they had this
Oh,
song
he
called.
did? Wow.
Yeah, he did. Yes. And I remember the song. What was his name? Silverado, I guess it was. I remember there's a video for that track there on the old
Yeah,
MTV back in the day.
yeah. But I got me a top 10 list by that group
Yep.
because I really like this group.
Oh yeah.
Number 10 is How Can I Slow Down? Number 9 I got is off the first album, a song called My Jesus Told Me So.
Mhm.
Great little song. And then number 8 was one of their hits, Heard It in a Love Song.
Yeah, that's what I remember hearing as well. I heard that in this few times that when I lived in Richmond there.
And then number 7 is Long Hard Ride, which is an instrumental but very country sounding.
Mhm.
Number 6 I got is This Old Cowboy.
Yep.
Great song off their double album.
Uh-huh.
Number 5 is Searching for a Rainbow. Number 4 is off the same album. It's titled Fire on the Mountain.
Mhm. Yes.
And number 3 I got is Never Trust a Stranger.
Mhm.
Number 2, it's off their first album, Can't You See, which was a big song
Oh
by them.
yeah, but of course you remember hearing the Kid Rock and Zach Brown version. I remember hearing that a couple times there.
Yeah. And then my number 1 by that group is Take the Highway,
Mm.
which I really like that song. But Marshall Tucker did some phenomenal stuff. I believe their guitarist name was Toy Caldwell.
Yes, I remember hearing that name a couple times. Is he involved? Is still around? I guess. Did he die?
No, he passed a while back,
Okay.
which is kind of. And Tommy Caldwell was a member of this group too.
Oh yeah, he must have been his brother.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they were.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know they were. What am I saying? Sure.
Mhm.
And then my last Southern rock group I'm going to talk about is Leonard Skinner.
Oh yeah, the best for last. One of the main ones right there.
Yeah, if you're going to talk Southern rock, that group's the top.
Definitely the big wigs of that genre right there. When we know their songs, "Call Me the Breeze," "Saturday Night Special," very profound anti-gun song there. We had stuff like of course we cannot forget "Freebird." One of their all-time big
Oh
hits
yeah.
there. "Sweet Home
And the best
Alabama."
version of Freebird's on their live album, One for
What?
the Road.
Yes, I remember hearing that one just as well there. I think there was this one that they did another live album, I guess in '88, Southern
Oh,
by the
they've done
Grace of
several,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, Southern by the Grace of God, where when they did that song, the audience they just let the audience sing the whole verses of that song there. When your audience is singing louder than your singer there, that means that
That
song
means
has
something.
made that Excuse me there. That
My top
that
10
means
list
that.
that I did for them was tough
Mm,
because I left off some great stuff.
I know that's what I have the problem with. I know that's why I have a hard time doing lists of my own. There, I'm like forgetting about this, forgot about that, blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
My number 10 is Simple Man.
Mm-hmm.
My number 9 is I Know a Little. I love that guitar lick in that song.
All right.
And my number 8 is Ballad of Curtis Lowe.
Mm.
That's a great little song.
All right. Mm.
My number 7 is I Never Dreamed.
Wow.
Number 6 is That Smell.
Oh yeah.
Big
Which
song.
by well, just believe it or not, which is probably one of their best anti-drug songs they ever done. There, I guess
Yeah.
it was kind of like forewarning to one of their members, Gary Washington, who I guess crashed his car after being intoxicated, for I understand. And Van Zandt wrote that song as a kind of like to give him a lesson, to give him a warning,
Yeah. Yeah. And then number 5, I went with Saturday Night Special.
Yeah, which we talk, in the lyrics it says, handguns are made for killing, ain't good for nothing else.
Yeah. And my number 4, even though it's a great song, probably the best, I put it there because it's one of those songs that's just kind of, well, it doesn't really get overplayed, but it gets played a lot.
Yeah.
Freebird.
Oh, yeah, but probably one of the biggest all-time songs there,
Yeah.
No
And
surprise.
then my number 3 is a song called One More Time,
Mm.
which basically talks about a girl that messes around. She keeps coming back, and he keeps saying, okay, one more time.
One more time, I'm going to get you. One more time, you're going to get yours there,
Yeah.
I guess.
And my number 2 is a song called I Need You, which
Mm.
is another great little song.
All right.
And my number 1 is kind of interesting. It's kind of tied. Do you remember the show Deadliest Catch?
I think so, yeah. I remember hearing about. I never really seen any episodes, but I heard about it a lot there.
Well, one of the captains died,
Hmm.
and one of the songs they played for that was Tuesday's Gone.
Ah,
And that Tuesday's Gone is a great song.
yeah, because I remember hearing it a couple times when I worked at the golf club in a couple years back. Interesting use of a mellotron on that track, as well as
Yeah.
Freebird, believe it or not. I
Yeah.
guess it was from their first album there. Guess I take it.
I think it was from Second Helping, but I don't
Maybe,
remember.
who knows? Either way, it's a good song there. Metallica did their version of it on their covers album in 1998.
And Young Republican just mentioned in your chat Three Steps. Yeah, that is a great song.
Oh yeah, that is. I guess that's over.
It
That's
was hard
based
to
on
leave that off the list.
yeah, that's another. Give me 3 steps. That was, I understand, based on the true. That basically was based on a true story there, from what I heard.
Yeah, yeah. But Skinner, man, you can only wonder just how far they would have gone had they not had the plane
I
crash.
know, yeah, and it was. If I need to say this, and I think everybody would agree on this. When there's something wrong with an airplane or a vehicle or anything like that, hold up, get that problem taken care of. Otherwise, some shit is going to go down bad, because, for instance, with that singer Aaliyah, when she died in that plane crash in the Bahamas in
Yeah,
2001, they could have at least, take some of the half of the equipment that they had to do that video and come back and get the rest of the equipment instead of loading all that tons of stuff on that small ass plane. She would have been
yeah,
still around, and they could. And the pilot of that plane said, "Hold on, we're gonna take off in a few, but we got to load up the fuel first, because we're kind of low on the tank there." They could at least done that before taking off.
yeah. Well, what's interesting about, well, it's not interesting, but the story that goes with the uh, Skinner thing
Yeah.
is they had just released that album Street Survivors.
Oh yeah, the cover of that album, Richie had the band
I
members
bought it
walking through.
before
It got so before it got
Crash.
changed. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I bought it before the crash. I bought it the
Oh,
day it came out.
oh yeah.
And the other interesting thing about that is one of the little things in the album itself
Yep.
was their tour schedule.
Yeah.
So you could pull it out and look, okay, there,
Yep.
Plane Crash here.
Okay.
I mean, I had bought that album. I know it was before the plane crash,
Yes, it was.
but I don't recall. I know it's the day before, the day it was released,
Yeah.
because I happened to be in the record store and so I said, "Oh, I got to get this."
Yeah. It had the
And
original and the original cover of that album, which of course came out in 1977. It had the members of the Skinner walking through a city in flames.
yeah,
And one of the
and
and one of the part when you look closely at it, one of the members who perished in that plane crash, Steve Gaines, the guitarist, he
he's
was
covered
looked
in
like he was
flames.
covered in flames there. So that must have been in. I guess they removed that cover in place of an all black background there
Yeah,
because
they
to see it.
basically took that out.
Yeah, they did because they decided the old cover was in poor taste, so they put this new cover out. And I guess when the reissues came out, I guess in the early 2000s, they decided to go back to the original cover.
Yeah, but that group, you just think about what they could have done, and actually they reformed, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, but it's
And
kind of
then
that's
there
true
was
there.
Washington Collins Band.
Yeah, I remember they guess which was Dale and Gary, the husband and wife duo there.
Yeah,
And
and
I guess right now Gary Washington is the only original member of the old Skinner that's still around.
I believe so.
Because Billy Powell, their keyboard player, died. Leon Wilkinson, their bass player, he later died. And I guess the other one that's still around is Artemis Pyle,
Yeah,
Who Tommy NC 2010, another was respected YouTuber here, who we've had conversations with a couple times, not on this program, but on other programs. There, he had a little
yeah,
did a video, a little interview with him.
yeah. And who was that other guitarist that was in the group for a while?
Alan Collins.
No, there's another guy.
Oh, Ricky Medlock
I want to
from
say the name's Cobb or something like that.
Cobb, Cobb something there. I'm not too sure.
Something Cobb, I
I know
believe.
there was another one named Ed King, who basically, if I
Ed
understand,
King is the
yes,
guy
there
I'm
we
thinking
go.
of.
Yes, yeah.
I believe, wasn't he a member of Spooky Tooth? And not Spooky Tooth. Class, the group that did Spooky, Classics 4.
Oh, Glass 6-4. That'd be something there. I should look him up. I do know that another guitar player that from that group, who's no longer around is Alan Collins. He got paralyzed
Yeah,
from a car wreck there, and he died in. I guess he died in somewhere around the 90s. I guess it was. I believe it. He was
yeah.
Yeah, and Ed King. He passed away in August of 2018. He was a guitarist for a Strawberry Alarm Clock,
That's the
bassist,
group, not
mhm,
Classics 4.
and he was also the bassist for Leonard Skinner from 72 to 75, and they
Yeah.
did again from 87 to 96.
Yeah, that was Strawberry Alarm Clock. I knew he was in an old 60s band, but I couldn't remember which one.
Mm,
And it was Strawberry Alarm Clock. Yeah.
yeah, interesting there.
One of those bands that's considered a one-hit wonder, but they actually had quite a few decent songs.
Yeah. Another reason why we're doing this about this program, to get the listeners, to put aside the main song and look deeper into the others.
Yeah, deep dives.
Yep, correctly.
And I'm sure by the time we get to our next show,
Which I'm thinking it could probably be this Thursday if you like.
yeah, I could probably do that.
Yeah, because I work till about 5 on Thursday. There, that's my only day a week where I work early there, And since Real as Fuck TV is on a month-long break until the beginning of June, figure we could probably do some shows on Thursdays now,
Yeah,
as well as
and
Mondays. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of what we might. I guess next we need to cover.
I think we could probably cover some of the adult contemporary stuff from the
That's exactly
1970s.
what I was thinking.
Bands like Bread, Al Stewart, um, stuff like let's see here with the funks, the soul R&B, soul singer around that time. Stuff like Isaac Hayes, Barry White.
Yeah, I mean, we could hit a lot in the adult contemporary.
Oh yeah,
You got Fleetwood Mac, you got Eagles,
the band America.
yeah, 10cc.
Yes,
Uh, I mean, that's we'll spend several shows on that because there's a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
definitely. Chicago included. Their stuff was played a lot on those particular stations.
Yep, yep. So yeah, I think the next one, the adult contemporary, would be the way to go.
Absolutely, there definitely. All right, I guess that'll probably be it for this today's program. Definitely check us out this coming Thursday, same time, same stations here. And I gotta get a couple things done here and around the house here, and plus I can pick up some groceries. I think that finally the rain calmed down. Thank goodness. I could probably get to that
Well, that's
there.
good.
Yes, thank goodness. I was hoping to get some stuff done earlier, but it was drizzling, sound so damn hard. We figure, fuck it, stay inside up till later on.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay, I guess that's going to be doing it for today's